Let me also rope in Dr. Ajay Dua into this conversation. Dr. Dua, the salient chemistry between India and Japan has always been that of bonhomie, that of mutual respect, and that respect has also translated into gains for both the countries. But India finds itself at a pivotal point, Dr. Dua, considering the fact that we are being cornered or relegated into a spot where we have to find newer avenues. Do you think Japan is going to be instrumental in offsetting that problem that we are having with the Americans?
Thank you, Vinay. I think our problem with the United States, as we all know, currently is trade, the tariff on our exports to the United States. Unfortunately, with Japan, our trade is only about 24 billion or 23 billion a year. And in that, the products which we trade in, by and large, are machinery, chemicals, reactors, and certain amount of steel comes from Japan. We exported some steel, aluminum, and seafood. The seafood is a common item between the United States and Japan. Maybe we can try and push the exports of the seafood to Japan. But let's remember that we have had in the past incidents where we've had to experience setback with respect to fish exports because of Salmonella disease, which was detected in Japan, and that had hit our exports for quite a while. So the textiles, gems and jewelry, kind of things which our labor-intensive footwear, those kind of things, I think we should find avenues in Japan, though currently they are not a major buyer from us. Instead, their trade with the Southeast Asia and China with many of these items is much larger. Second is an issue which as of now not affected us, but the investment which comes into India from the United States is also sizable. It may be routed through various tax havens, etc., including Mauritius, Singapore, but originating in the US. I think there the Japanese can be far more useful. Currently, we have accumulated investment in India over the years of $48 billion from Japan, and roughly it's now about $3 billion a year. I think on that there is tremendous scope to increase it, because last meeting when Mr. Modi had gone there 7 years ago to Japan in 2018, it was agreed to have a trade of, not investment in India of 5 trillion yen, which translates to about 34 billion US dollars. This time, what is being mentioned by the Prime Minister this morning in the forum, as well as otherwise, is that this could be doubled to 10 trillion yen or $68 billion in the next 5 years. And number of MOUs, which could be well 180 to 200, are expected to be signed between today and tomorrow, and the investment involved in these MOUs itself is about 13 to 14 billion dollars. And I think there is a success story in India as far as the Japanese are concerned, and the biggest of these, as we all know, is in the automobile sector of Suzuki, followed by Honda and other companies which have done, Toyota, which have done all very well in India. And the Japanese could be, though initially they themselves were not so upbeat about EVs, but now they are. In our EV endeavor, the Japanese investment, Japanese technology could be of great amount of use. We are also talking to the Japanese for greater economics and security cooperation in this particular visit. We had signed a pact with Japan about 10 years ago. Now it's time for look at a vision for 2035. 2025 was the terminal year for the last one. So here what is being talked of is greater economic security. Economic security coming in by way of minerals, the rare earth minerals, coming in more by way of cooperation in technology for defense. It may not be directly defense, but defense technology, because you know the Japanese do have still a little bit of a constraint in cooperating in supplying of equipment, which goes back to the post-World War era. So each item by item, whatever they want to export, they need to get a parliamentary approval to go to their diet. But technology, yes, it is possible, and I think that we would see in this visit of the Prime Minister such technology deals being signed, much more of in AI we are talking about, and finally, I think Prime Minister would do well to raise it with the Prime Minister of Japan, Mr. Ishiba, that we have only 54,000 Indians who have taken residence in Japan. This is 0.1% of the total. Many more people in Japan are from China, Vietnam, Philippines, and South Korea. Traditional partners probably, but the Japanese, the restriction coming upon the Indians was hitherto, there is a Japanese word called sukoi, that they fear the unknown, they fear the foreign persons. And all foreigners get clubbed as one, Japanese on one side, and the rest irrespective of which kind of countries they come from. But that is fast disappearing as they realize that in Japan, youth are scarce. The older people are many more, and they do need people to work. And they have offered Indians, saying if you are in the field of IT, if you are in the field of finance,
Sure,
we
sir.
will let you come. But Japanese language, requirement of Japanese language is something which Indian government could do well if they train people who are familiar and then offer those people. I'm sure the Japanese would open up because they do need the kind of skills and the people which we have in plenty.